In the early 2010s, consoles had a run for their money.
While gaming was a thing long beforehand, this was also when more casual markets started to really come out as a major market.
And unfortunately, it introduced these armies of marketable plushies.
The plants! This is the birds!
Picture this. You're the only person in town who has no chill. That's Red. I relate to him.
Well, he was the Squidward of a town full of people that weren't as accepting of a constant feeling of regression, but they were nice enough that the worst they could really do was send him to an anger management class.
Little did they know that he was right. A bunch of pigs showed up and no one believed him when he said they were bad news, since everything is bad news to him. So when the pigs did do something, they needed some. That's the official story behind the Angry Birds. Otherwise, the game that was popular for like 2 years max and then died.
Initially, Red's crew consisted of a fairly diverse group. There was Chuck, the yellow speedster, Bomb, a big black dude that can explode, the Blues, which were a set of triplets that can apparently spontaneously commit mitosis, and there's Matilla, who's white and can unleash an explosive ordnance below by...
She can shoot fireballs out of her butt.
Hal's a green bird who's Australian and boomerangs. Terrence is just a bigger red. Bubbles expands, and Stella attacks with bubbles. Not the bird bubbles, but with actual bubble.
There's also the mighty eagle. By tossing a packet of fish on the ground, a gigantic, fearsome bird who destroys anything in its wake and actually knows how to fly will come out of nowhere and destroy the entire level.
And if you think flying birds are ridiculous, he's also a complete idiot. But as the games got more and more ridiculous, we got more and more ridiculous birds. The birds from Rio are part of their crew, which means we have more physical copies of Angry Birds Rio than we do of the actual bird.
When they went through a mysterious space portal, they met an alien bird called the Iceberg, which, as his very creative name implies, can freeze blocks and debris as brittle as ice. Sephiroth also gave them really cool space designs, along with some new abilities, as Chuck is just able to ignore the rules of gravity.
Speaking of ignoring basic laws, copyright is one of them. The crossovers get ridiculous. Star Wars birds, Transformers birds, Magic birds, Celebrity birds. There's Among Us versions of the birds.
Well, considering the sheer amount of things they need to smash up the buildings of, they definitely needed all they could. Because the pigs just cannot learn how to give up to try and look for food besides the eggs of this flock.
These angry birds are doing more damage to the pigs than Elon Musk is doing to Twitter. Oop, my bad, X.
Well, considering they're also regularly able to survive being in the midst of these massive explosions, atmospheric re-entry, and being frozen solid, they're probably not going to be hurt too bad by that. And they're also surprisingly fast, with Chuck especially being able to dodge lightning and move so fast the entire world looks like in slow motion.
The main downside is that they're not real strategies. Or really smart. Or anything above common sense. They're literally just launching themselves into brick and explosives. So if there's one thing we've learned, we've run out of ideas. I'll give you the brief rundown. These were made by some fat guy in his garage to fight his third-grade English teacher.
Well, he still made sentient plants, so he's clearly pretty smart. And they're a certified armed force, typically led by sunflowers and pea shooters of many kinds. They got an extremely versatile amount of units. They have an artillery division of cabbage bolts and kernel bolts, who are able to stun foes temporarily. And there's a guerrilla division of mushrooms that will sleep during the day unless they're given some coffee. It must be midterm season.
Yeah, I still don't see how corn catapults and coconut cannons are gonna fight Darth Vader and Optimus Prime.
Well, what if I told you they also took to fighting through time itself?
Oh yeah, Crash 4 took its subtitle. Apparently the plants went back in time, became historic at one point, and created microtransactions. And that resulted in the biggest domino problem in history, as him wanting to eat a taco twice led to Swampzilla, universe peas, and nuclear fungi. There's the Doom Shroom, who's a nuclear bomb contained in a mushroom. The Citron, a cybernetic annoying orange. Rose, a time-traveling sorceress, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Literally!
There's the Laser Beam, a beam from the future who has literal laser eyes. The Primal Potato Mine, which is like a basic potato mine except bigger. And there's the Infinite Nut, a holographic walnut that can make...
Infinite? Seriously? You think that's stupid? We also got superhero plants. Solar Flare, who can convert sunlight into fire, and Chompzilla, which is just Audrey 2 on a no good, very bad day.
Led by the mysterious Green Shadows, these plants would do epic battle with the zombies that also had superpowers. Against the massive horde of zombies held by a genius evil scientist that's also a zombie, they needed to be pretty strong to push back such a horde. Even the average pea shooter is strong enough to knock the head off a zombie, but the stronger units can get far more powerful. Solar Flare was once able to unfreeze all of the water in a water park that was frozen by an evil zombie Yeti. Nero's have shown equipment to intercept a giant meteorite about to strike you off. Goodbye, dinosaur.
Anyways, forget Popeye and his spinach. These things are gonna force you to eat your vegetables. Well, look on the plus side. We're eating chicken tonight.
I'm pretty sure there are different kinds of birds, actually.
Exactly. The birds were all one of a kind, whereas the plants had many different numbers of the same kind.
Sure, each individual bird could do magic or bend the laws of gravity, but when looking at the entire group, the plants just held a far better variety of things they could do as a whole. And certain members of the plants could certainly compete in individual versatility, like the heroes or the guard warfare troops. Plants also had a generally better track record of using actual tactics. While games like Angry Birds Epic have shown the birds able to take things slower, they are usually the type to literally dive headfirst into something with no gameplay.
The final nail in the coffin is a plant that we never even mentioned till now. The umbrella leaf. That's right, this guy's whole purpose is to nullify an aerial attack, which is the bird's entire gimmick.
As such, this flock of foul fledglings would fail to fight when faced with this force of flowers and flora.
This fiction fight's winner is the plants!